Close. Jane Witherspoon there. Now, Guitar Hero has already been a massive success. People can come home from the pub or whatever with their mates and just jam along to tracks using the guitar-shaped control. And now the follow-up, DJ Hero, is about to go on sale in the UK. Players can get on the decks themselves and pretend to be their music-mixing idols. And with Jay-Z and Eminem acting as advisors and DJs, the scratch perverts, providing the music, it's set to be just as big.
Scratch Perverts is just a collective of DJs, really. It's kind of how it's always been, and we kind of had a very definitive direction years ago, which was all based around the competition style of DJing. And you know, the goal really was to win world titles. That's what we did, and you know, luckily I've managed to forge a career in playing records in clubs.
Well, some friends of ours were involved from a very early stage, and they brought us in to sort of have a look at the game with a view to perhaps contributing some levels to it. And I think once we'd all checked it out and were pretty blown away by it, we were very keen to be involved, and managed to shoehorn 5 routines into the game that I think we were all very proud of.
It is fundamentally tells the absolute sonic line of what you would do if you were doing it live as a real DJ. The game does sort of transfer that. The controls to a degree do as well. It very much makes you think you're doing what you do live, although, you know, in practice it's kind of slightly different, obviously, because, you know, one's a game, one's reality. It does open you up to the kind of thing of, like, watching, you know, yourself playing, you know, when you play the game, you're kind of watching your character almost emulating all your movements live, and you kind of have this crowd reaction thing. And you kind of do get a little taste of sort of, you know, what it would be like to pull things off and have people go mad and things like that. I think it's kind of, I think there's a lot of, like, little elements in it that could make people really like the idea of sort of getting into DJ.
Well, games expert Johnny Minkley is here now. Johnny, these are the decks.
My new favourite toy.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of look a bit cheap, but you can do some pretty good things on them.
You can. I mean, the same way that Guitar Hero, the plastic guitar, looks a bit cheap and naff, but it's, you know, it's what you can do with it and how you can have fun. The problem they had with trying to recreate DJ decks are you have 2 turntables normally. They figured if you're going to do that with that, you're just going to be looking down all the time if you're doing that. So what they've done is, the solution they had was to have a single turntable and these buttons on it here, where the green button corresponds to your left turntable, the blue one to your right turntable.
Right.
That adds samples.
So you can kind of swap over there.
So you do, but then you've got the crossfader, which works exactly as it would do on a proper set of DJ decks, where you're switching between it. You've got an effects knob where you can twiddle around with the sounds, and you've got that, which gives you other things you can layer over the top and samples you can add in, so you can do all sorts of things. It's quite a multitasking thing. When you first play, it's a bit like patting your head and rubbing your tummy. It takes a bit to get your head around it, but it's loads of fun.
Is it any good then?
It's really, really good fun. Like I say, there's a steep learning curve. People, I think, that have been playing Guitar Hero for many years have almost learned to play the guitar, but, you know, the plastic video game guitar, this, I think, it brings you back to square one again. You've got to get your head around a whole new way of playing, but as a result, it feels genuinely fresh, where people might have become a little wary with sort of Guitar Hero now. This is a really fresh way of playing games.
Obviously, Guitar Hero is really successful. You can just pick it up and strum along.
Yeah.
Can you do that with this? It seems a bit more complicated in a way.
It is. I mean, there's a lot more to do. The clever thing, though, with Guitar Hero, you are just playing over notes. This does and it's a trick, but it's a clever trick where it makes you feel like you're actually creating music, even though it's pre-programmed, because you are able to fiddle around with the pitch, and you're able to layer samples over at the same time. And even though you're switching between the tracks at points they tell you to, you still think you're kind of mixing it yourself, which is quite clever.
Will it be as successful as Guitar Hero?
Well, Guitar Hero, I mean, you're looking, it came out in 2005. It's a $2 billion business. There's Rock Band, its rival. It's also hugely successful. There have been 25 million copies of Guitar Hero sold. I think this is more likely to be, although there's a huge amount of money behind it and a lot of...
Jay-Z, Eminem, everybody's...
Lots of celebrity, yeah, lots of celebrity DJ involvement. I think this will be a slower burner, I think, as well, because it's not cheap. It's £109 RRP. I expect...
For that and the game?
And the game as well. But I think retailers will undercut. You'll be able to pick it up for under £100, but a lot of people are already invested in things like Guitar Hero and Rock Band and console, so it's a lot more than a standard game. So I would imagine more of a slow burner.
And they're clever as well, right in time for Christmas.
Well, there you go, yeah.
Excellent. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
That's Johnny Minkley, games expert here on E24. That's all the entertainment news for now. I'll be back on Monday with more. In the meantime, you can log on to our website, bbc.co.uk/entertainment-news. Louisa.
Andy, thanks very much indeed. Postal workers have begun a second wave of national strikes in a dispute with Royal Mail over pay and modernisation. 3 days of industrial action.